woman I'm going to introduce to you is a woman that came into my life with an incredible story. And when she called to talk to me about writing that story, I sat very still. And she told me after that, she said, I didn't know, Marsh, what you were feeling. I didn't know if you were going to hang up or what was going on. I couldn't figure out why were you so still. I was still because I knew that the story she had to tell, it required, the way it was told, required great thought and great stillness and a selection of words that would give honor to the experience in a way that whoever was reading it, wherever they were, without us there, or with us there, if they pick the book up with the story without us there, that they could truly understand the essence of the wisdom that was coming through this experience. And Stone did it. Come on up, Stone. I have such a level of respect for the vulnerability that she brings to her storytelling. And I love your red jacket. I think she's modeling a Hana jacket. I think she is. I love you so much. I just appreciate you so much.
Oh, hello. We're all kind of feeling tired, but I'm about to tell you a story that most of us women haven't told. To this day, we're grandmothers, we're grown women, we haven't told. I'm going to tell you a story about this little girl. She was 5 years old, and she only had her perpetrators to turn to. There were two. Her single mom would pick her up and take her and her sister to her sister's house while she worked graveyard. She had two cousins, 19 and 24. One was big and dark and ashy knuckles and wore a growl on his face. The other one was kind of chubby and talkative and had this clumsy gait. Well, that one used to pick her up out of her aunt's bed, take her to the living room, and assault her, sexually molest her. And this went on between age 5 to 8. The big scary one, he did it too. So there were two brothers molesting this child. That child was me. That was me. And I'll tell you this is a story. As you can see, I'm not a broken woman. It's a story, but it's not me. As I grew, I had my daughters, loved them so much, happy to have a family. There was a Monday, I dropped my girls off at school. I got a phone call about 1:30. They said, you need to come up here right away. We have something to tell you. Is my daughter hurt? No, but we need you to come right away. I go up to the school, they sit me down, and they say, you know what? We have a program to protect the children called Good Touch versus Bad Touch. And we talked to all the children, and we asked them the question, and your daughter said yes. No. Who? She said that her father touched her in a bad way. Every nightmare, every fear came rushing back out of my guts. How could this be right, Father? It happened to me. I was just a baby. I've done everything I'm supposed to do. You've allowed this to happen to my baby? I didn't understand. I didn't understand. I ran home. I told my mother. My mother said, bring me the child. My mother talked to her. She said yes again. I took my baby home. I said, baby, what happened? I don't know. Did your daddy touch you? No. Okay. Well, by Friday, CPS was at my house. We need to come and talk to you about the relationship between your daughters and your husband. Now, normally we would take the child out of the home, but I can see how you nurture your children. You're nursing one. I can see how you've put the house together. You're taking care of these kids. So we're going to ask your husband to leave. That's fine. That's fine. Just don't take my babies. My mother said, I believe the child. Well, children don't usually lie about that. We all know that. I want to believe the child too. I want my family. I love my family. But not at the cost of my daughter. So my turmoil began. My mother insisted that my husband had molested my daughter, but my daughter was now telling me, no, Mommy, it didn't happen. But I remembered when I was 5, I knew how to lie to take care of my family. I didn't tell my mom because my mom would kill her sister's sons for molesting me, and I knew that. I knew that. So I didn't tell. I knew that my mother wouldn't see me as her beautiful baby if she knew the same scenes she was protecting me from on a movie, don't watch that, was my reality. I'd seen it. I'd felt it. I was hurt by it. But I didn't tell. I talked to my mother. She says, I'm going to kill your husband. I said, Mom, you can't do that. I talked to CPS. They told me that they've given my husband a lie detector test and he passed. The child is saying yes. The child is saying no. I don't know what to do. I don't want to be one of those mothers that doesn't believe my child. So let's take her to a therapist. Let's take her to a hypnotist so we can get to the truth. So we did that. Meanwhile, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I couldn't work. If I did sleep, I slept like that, one eye open, watching my children. It was so hard for me. I didn't know what to do. My mother was the closest person in this world to me, outside of my babies. Our relationship was torn apart. How can this happen if something didn't happen? So I was paranoid. I was confused. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to believe. I didn't want to believe that. I didn't want that to be my child's experience. But I didn't want to deny it. I didn't want to hide from it. I wanted to face it. The therapist calls me and said, I need to talk to you about your daughter. I go there, and she says, you know what? Your daughter's story is not consistent with a child that's been molested. Great. But wait. I knew how to lie at 5. Maybe she's said to herself, this is a beautiful family. I mean, the child is not traumatized. She's not really hurt. I don't know. I had to pray. And I said, Father, you know what? I don't need a hypnotist, a therapist. I need you, a spiritualist. I need you to come and talk to me in a way that I can understand. Don't come in the middle of the night and scare me to death. But talk to me where you know I can hear you and we are connecting. I need to know. So time went on. And then I had a dream. And I dreamt that my mom and my husband were in a park and they locked eyes and they started to run at each other like 2 matador bulls. And I said, oh my God, I can't watch my mother attack my husband. I can't watch my husband assault my mother. So I closed my eyes. But then I had to look. They embraced in love. What is that? She said she was going to kill him. If I was sure about what happened, I'd be going to jail. But I wasn't. So I said, this is what I like to do. Father, I've just discovered that I'm pregnant. I want to deliver all of this. Okay? This is my covenant with you. If my child was in harm's way, then you leave my family in turmoil and dismay as it is right now. But you are the only one that can operate in love. So if my child was not hurt, you bring those two people together in love. And then I will know. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is because I had to go within. I had to go deep down and consult my intuition, my gut, my guidance, my navigator. Okay? The baby was born. We were still in turmoil. I said, okay, I'll start a new life. My mother came into the hospital room about 3 o'clock in the morning, and she had a letter. And she says, honey, this letter came in the mail months ago, and it was for your husband. And I held it back because I hated him. But you know what? This baby is born, and I want to love again. My husband rose to his feet to greet her. So that is my story. Just my story. It's not me. It's not me, because I know where to go when I need something. I know how to ask, and now I know how to tell. So I advise you, tell it. Tell it. Tell now. I never told, but I'm glad that you all are my witness. Thank you.
Your soul.